This is another environmental episode, so I hope you're ready to laugh yourself silly. I promise that will make sense very soon. It begins with tracking an alien ship.
On the Space Monitor, an alien spacecraft.
Holy teacups! It's a flying saucer!
Looks like a big one.
It disappeared.
The picture faded out.
There it is.
And there it isn't.
Wonder why our space monitor can't hold the picture.
There's a good reason for that. Right now, let's peek in on the saucer's inhabitants.
They are the balloon people. Crim, his wife Gloma, their daughter Blinky, and a dog, Grunk.
Earth's atmosphere is clean. We can live on this planet. Prepare for a landing.
They're not out to conquer anything or even engage in mischievous shenanigans. They just want a place to live.
Ah, jungle. Good. We are unlikely to run into Earth people here. Let us take a look outside.
Good, clean, fresh air.
What? Balloons float like that. And now we can see why the Troubler couldn't keep a fix on them. That jungle around them, that's Marvin's back lawn. They're about this big.
Father, there's a building.
In a jungle? We'll check it out. Stay together and be very quiet. Follow me.
No windows. I wonder what it's used for.
You're right, Grunk. This is a doghouse.
They must use the same kind of doghouse on Balloonia if Grunk recognized it that easily. Who knew the doghouse with an arched doorway was a universal constant? Did anybody ever tell that to Stephen Hawking?
If Earth's dogs are big enough to live in such large houses, we'd better inflate ourselves to maximum size.
Aroused by the voices, a giant animal peers out. What's this? The balloon people are tiny creatures.
Balloons also do that. And now I'm wondering what an MRI of their internal organs would look like.
Stay back. I'll deal with him.
Wonder Dog ferocious. Uh-huh. That's how wild animals express ferocity on this planet, Crim. Just ask this one.
At the same moment, the Cape Crusaders, driving the kids home, pull into Marvin's driveway.
Thanks, Dynamic Duo. Oh, wait. I'm sure Wonder Dog would like to say hi to you two. Wonder Dog! Hey, Wonder Dog! The Cape Crusaders are here!
Uh-oh. That's his warning bark.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Funny, it sounds just like his "oh crap, hide me" bark.
Great blazes.
Who are they?
You mean, what are they?
Danger. Deflate.
Holy flying fish!
Robin, get that one.
Hold on, everybody settle down and let's try to sort this out. The balloon people all managed to hide except Crim. They have him surrounded.
We mean you no harm. Who are you? Where have you come from? Please don't run away. You must tell us who you are. How did you arrive here? I'm asking you to trust us.
The doghouse. The doghouse.
Back, everyone. Step back.
Jeepers. How did that happen?
Nobody's sure, but it accomplished its goal. Crim slipped away while they were watching it. I never knew a flying doghouse was such a good distraction. Gotta remember that.
Crim, the Earthmen said they wouldn't harm us.
That could be a trick to make us give ourselves up.
But Crim, maybe.
We'll have to wait and see.
Batman, look! A model flying saucer. That's not mine.
It's not a model, Marvin. It's the real thing. This brought them here from another planet.
Unlike us big clunky humans, they can shrink down to size so they don't need a ship any bigger than that. What a great way to use your resources for maximum effect. I wonder if we could do that. They have a valve on their abdomen. I have this little divot on my tummy. Is it a valve?
I see Mama under the steps. Uh-oh, that girl is moving toward her.
Aw, don't be afraid, puppy. There we go. Now I'm not going to hurt you.
If he wants to be vicious and intimidating, he may wish to grow a little more than that.
Gee, she caught one. It's a dog.
He feels like a balloon.
Poor Grunk. He gave himself up to save me.
Aw, the poor thing was hungry.
I wish the others would trust us.
I think you're right, Gloma. Earth people are friendly and kind.
Some Earth people are friendly and kind. You landed in the right place to find some. The family introduced themselves and explained that they came from a distant planet and are looking for a new home.
Why did you leave Balloonia?
Over the centuries, we Balloonians carelessly allowed our air to become polluted. Dirty air makes our bodies weak and sickly.
So you had to find a new home?
Yes, where the atmosphere is reasonably pure.
Then there are certain places on Earth that you'll want to avoid.
Say, did you make the doghouse move?
Yes, Balloonians have the ability to move small objects by thought power.
Thought power?
You landed in the suburbs of whateveropolis where the air is fairly clean. Do yourselves a favor, don't try to go shopping in the city.
If you remain on Earth, you'll need a house to live in.
No problem. With our ability to miniaturize, we can sleep in our flying saucer.
You're welcome to live here in my backyard. Just park your saucer next to Wonder Dog's house.
Yes, and whenever you make yourself small, Wonder Dog will be right next door to protect you.
Yeah, you already saw how ferocious he is. And he and Grunk are already becoming pals. I think Wonder Dog likes having another dog around to talk to. The balloon people are an immediate sensation all over the world. Everyone is excited to welcome the visitors and make them feel at home.
Miles away at a remote island laboratory complex, the Balloonians' unique mental power is especially noted by a brilliant and ambitious scholar, Mr. Noah Tall, who operates on the theory that knowledge is power. A very sound philosophy, but in his case, he desires knowledge only to gain power over mankind, to control the world.
There's one in every crowd. He thinks if he captures them, they can tell him how to move things with his mind, too. And, by the way, I'm embarrassed to say I didn't catch the little pun on his name until someone said it quickly. Noah Tall. Know it all. I felt a little less than adequate when it hit me.
Very interesting, Twisty. It sure is, Mr. Tall. Imagine balloon planets from another people.
It's balloon people from another planet, Twisty.
Twisty is a walking spoonerism. Get used to him talking like that. Mr. Tall is the self-proclaimed smartest person in the world, so he devises a clever plan to capture the balloon people. Marvin is teaching Plinky about basketball.
Okay, I'm dribbling towards the other basket. Hey, how'd you get the ball away?
Plinky, throw it in the basket. Terrific, Plinky. That's 2 points for us.
Looks like she understands the game, Marvin. She explains that she can use suction to pull the ball toward her, then poof some air out to shoot it at the basket. I think Marvin knows when he's outclassed.
On Marvin Street, a strange vehicle appears. It's Noah Tall's spy truck, the Snoop Wagon.
Snoop Wagon, borrowed from Charlie Brown's dog. Hey, Mr. Tall, it's possible to overthink some things, like names for objects. While he spies on them, the family is meeting Superman and Wonder Woman.
Crim, you and I have something in common. I, too, am from another planet, Krypton.
Oh, yes, Superman. We've heard of Krypton, the planet that exploded.
Yeah, thanks for opening that wound again. The kids are taking the family fishing on the lake today.
We don't want any witnesses to recognize us. We'll disguise ourselves.
I'm not sure who would recognize them since nobody even cares that they exist. But I have a feeling everybody who sees them will remember that. As kidnapping plans go, this one is just goofy.
Hey there! Stop your boat!
Mister, cut your motor! Your anchor's caught our friend's boat!
Marvin, they can't hear us.
Isn't there some way we can let them know they've accidentally hooked onto our boat? What'll we do, Papa?
Everybody, follow me.
That was easy enough, but I wonder if Marvin is going to lose his deposit on the boat.
We'll keep after them until we get them.
Like the old saying, Mr. Tall, if at first you don't try, succeed again.
Couldn't have selfed it better myself.
Zonkers! What a freaky accident! People should be more careful.
I'm all shook up. Let's go home.
Who were those men?
Just a couple of fishermen trying to catch something.
They did. They caught us.
Nobody realizes that that was the idea. They figure there's lots of clumsy people in the world. That was just two more. Superman is taking the family sightseeing by carrying their flying saucer.
There they are, Twisty. We've got to get our hands on that flying saucer.
Gee, Mr. Tall, I don't think it's smart to soup around with Messer Man.
You mean mess around with Superman?
Well, either way.
Mr. Know-It-All has loads of knowledge, but you get the feeling Twisty is the smart one.
My plan is to make Superman set the flying saucer down and leave it unguarded. Now, here's how we'll do it.
Understand? Not exactly. What does mean?
Old joke. And it works because you can believe these two are really like that. They're on a cliff near a construction site with lots of heavy equipment.
Great Scott, that bulldozer. It'll crash down on that railroad station. Crim, there's an emergency.
I see it, Superman.
Hang on. I'm going to set you down fast so I can stop that bulldozer.
How fast?
Don't worry about us, Superman. I can fly it down.
Okay, Crim. You're on your own.
Oh, right, he can do that.
Did you see him catch that? He's marvelous. Look, Papa, another one.
Great galaxy.
Does Superman know about that one?
He's busy with the bulldozer. It's up to us to stop the steam shovel.
They can't move something that big with their minds, but they can turn the key off. They just have to get closer to it, which means no landing for them and no balloon people for Mr. Tall.
How can I capture you if you don't come down?
You're smart. Build yourself something to take you up to them.
Well, Mr. Tall, how do you like what I did with the bull shovel and the steam dozer?
You tongue-twisted twerp. If you hadn't started the steam shovel, the Balloonians would have come down right in my lap.
Huh? You didn't capture the Balloonians?
Balloonians! No, I didn't. You blew it, Twisty. Come on, we'll have to wait for another chance.
It's all Twisty's fault. He did what he was told. What a bungler.
It's strange how those construction machines moved by themselves.
The balloon people have certainly had some excitement since they arrived.
Yes, indeed. The kids report there was a close call on the lake yesterday.
A couple of fishermen accidentally hooked their anchor to Crim's boat.
Accidentally? I wonder.
At the moment, he's the only one, but it's a start. Aquaman is going to take the family on a tour of the Undersea world. They've already seen junk people through in the lake, smoke from factories and other pollution. Now they get to see how we treat our oceans.
Are you sure you don't need scuba gear? There's no air underwater.
We carry our own air supply, Wendy, inside our bodies.
Earth people have to carry tanks of air on their backs with a hose that goes to a mouthpiece. It's called scuba equipment, meaning self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
I'd call it a mouthful.
Yeah, that's why we say scuba instead of all that other stuff.
This is a coral reef. Don't touch it. It's jagged and sharp.
Not to mention delicate. The lightest touch can break some parts of it.
What is it? Rock?
No, Plinky, it's millions of skeletons of tiny marine animals.
The ones on top are alive. Why didn't he mention that?
While Aquaman continues the underwater tour, a strange aircraft approaches over the ocean. It is Know-It-All's helicopter, the Sea Sucker.
Mr. Tall, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell people who grow weed and come up with new strains. You have a great new thing? Cool. Wait until you're sober to name it. That thing has an antenna on it, and he's located Aquaman and the Crims. Now to separate them from Aquaman.
Okay, boss, here's the etching acid.
Itching acid! Itching acid! Oh, drop it!
Okay, I won't talk about it anymore.
No, I meant pull the plug and drop it out the door.
The itching acid starts spreading in the water, and soon fish are scratching themselves with their fins and the whole bit. Now, I've watched a fish that had an itch. He rubbed himself on a rock. These fish are much more talented. Aquaman picks up the telepathic call and heads their way to see what's going on. The Crims will wait where they are. It appears that Noah's plan is working. So how's he going to capture the family?
Simple. We lower the sucker tube. It's heading toward the Balloonians.
What happens when it reaches them?
I turn on the powerful suction pump and pull them up into our copter.
I guess the sucker tube is why he calls the helicopter the sea sucker. Or maybe it's because all his plans suck.
This looks like the shell of a giant clam.
Jeebies, what's that?
Any second now.
Crim, Mommy, that thing's gonna pull him in.
No, it isn't. We all know what's going to happen. That. Now they can take a moment and figure out what this thing is and what it's for.
It's a suction tube. I think it's probably used to clean the ocean floor.
But if it's not alive, it doesn't know where the trash is. Let's help it.
Good idea. That'll make Mr. Tall happy. He is a rabid environmentalist.
Hey, what's this? What's happening?
Why, it's junk, boss. You better pump off the turn.
Yes, I'll turn off the pump.
Like any vacuum cleaner, the collection chamber needs to be emptied once in a while. Meanwhile,
Great Neptune, itching acid. Some people. I'm going to have to plug that opening on top of it. But I've got to figure a way to get to the canister without the acid getting to me.
we know he can't do it himself unless he has a whole bunch of really spiny fish waiting to help him scratch the full body itch. He needs help.
Okay, angler fish, let's see if you can drop this cork into the hole. Careful now, if that acid touches you, you'll be using your fishing rod to scratch yourself. Good work, angler. Now I'll get rid of it.
Anglerfish do have a thing that sticks out like that. They use it as a lure to draw in prey, but I wasn't able to find out how strong it is, whether it could carry an object like that or not. So we can give Aquaman the benefit of the doubt. He's not sure what to do with that stuff, though. He heads back to the family.
This could be dangerous.
Look out, everyone.
Now I know how to get rid of this itching acid. Stand back. Seaweed! Rat! It's clogging the drain. It's filling up. Oh, better turn it off. Twisty, get the water out. Open the door.
Look, boss, it must be draining the Red Sea.
That's itching acid.
By this time, someone as smart as Noah claims to be would realize that the universe doesn't want him to move things with his mind, and he'd stop with the Wile E. Coyote caliber traps.
A cargo net. A sea suction tube. It keeps adding up. Someone is trying to capture the Crim family.
But why? They're such kind, gentle, harmless people.
We'll never know why until we know who. I suggest we take turns acting as their personal bodyguards.
While the family relaxes in their spaceship, Robin is standing watch.
But how do we get the Crims out of the saucer?
After we get rid of Robin, we'll rap on the saucer.
Okay. What are we gonna rap about?
I mean rap on it with our knuckles, you knothead.
In 1973, to most people, rapping still meant talking. It hadn't taken root in popular music yet, so when Twisty asked what we're going to rap about, he meant what are we going to sit around and talk about. If you grew up in the 80s or beyond, the meaning had changed by the time you learned the word. And that's your own fault for being born so late.
Did I hear something? Hey, what? How'd he get there? Hey, Crim! Crim! What are you doing in the neighbor's yard? What's wrong, Crim?
Someone has been selling those inflatable dolls ever since the family went public. Why am I not surprised that it fooled Robin?
Oh, goody! The kids are back! So soon? Let's see what Wonder Dog looks like.
Crim and Wonder Dog are going on television, so Wonder Dog got a bath, brush, and pedicure. I'm guessing he looks exactly like he always does.
Gotcha!
Papa, what's happening? Who are those men?
I don't know. Let's all remain calm.
I wonder if they could expand hard enough to shatter that box. Robin returns to find the hatch open and the family gone. Congratulations, Boy Wonder, you did it again. On Noatol's island, we see that the Crim family really are simple, trusting folks. They don't understand what's happening. I guess kidnapping isn't a thing on their planet.
Why did you bring us here?
I want you to tell me your secret.
What secret?
You know, that psychikinetic telly whatever.
Quiet, Twisty. He means psychokinetic teleportation.
Earth people just can't do it.
I don't know what he expected. They can do that because it's a thing they can do. They're born with the ability, however it's generated. We aren't born with that ability, and there's no way to borrow it from them, even if they were inclined to loan it to him.
You better let us go, or the Super Friends will make you sorry.
Impossible, little girl. They'll never trace you to this island. They don't know I brought you here. What's more, they don't even know I exist.
Unfortunately, he's right. Twisty locks them in a room. Plinky has an idea about combining their teleportation abilities. It's a long shot, but it's not like there's much else to do in this place.
Putting Plinky's plan into effect, the Crim family concentrates, sending out thought waves that spread in all directions, like the ripples in a pond heading toward land. But the farther they travel, the weaker they become. The Crim's brain signals cannot make it to the mainland.
It's not much of a stretch for the Super Friends to assume they're doing this, probably trying to move some object to get someone's attention. But there's a good chance they're too far away. Thought waves diminish with distance.
They must be like radio waves. We learned in school, the further radio waves travel, the weaker they get. That's why they have to set up booster stations.
Booster stations. That's the answer.
You're right. Booster devices for thought waves. I can build one for each of us.
With those and their various abilities, they can scour the country and beyond for thought waves that they can amplify. Aquaman picks them up out in the ocean, and his booster relays them to the others, forming a chain that leads back to Marvin's backyard.
Wendy, thought waves are reaching the saucer. The Balloonians are trying to tell us something.
Maybe they're sending a message to us on the tiny instruments inside. Let's crawl in and look.
It must be pretty sparse in there because it can fit all three of them. And I don't think it's a TARDIS.
Zonkers, we're flying.
Now we know what the thought waves were trying to move.
And you three are the only ones in town who didn't see that coming. Batman and Robin see it taking off and have the good sense to follow it while letting the others know what's happening. Gee, I wonder where it's going.
Jeepers, this isn't an observatory. It's a heliport.
Let's start searching for the Crims.
Nobody knows they're there, so they can wander around to their heart's content. Batman is trying to set the Batcopter down.
The Crusaders intend to land on our roof, do they? I'll give them something to dampen their hopes. The Sea Sucker water gun.
Holy fire hoses!
Hey, don't argue with the free helicopter wash. It's locked onto them and Batman can't maneuver away from it.
Meanwhile, beneath the ocean, Aquaman swims in the direction of the homing signal. Nearing the island, he encounters a powerful undertow, a bottom current, flowing toward the water gun's inlet.
A suction stream. And from the same direction. Better take a look.
It's easy to figure out that this is where all that water is coming from. Let's fix that.
Good. Now I'm gonna do my thing.
I assume he'll let it leave when Noah turns the water off. Meanwhile, up in the sky...
Yipes! I think we've been spotted by the stand of meal.
Man of steel, Twisty. Don't be scared.
I'm not scared. I'm just putrefied.
Try petrified.
This isn't smell-o-vision, and we don't know how long it's been since he took a bath, so for all we know, you're both right. Tall has some missiles filled with silver iodide that he calls cloudbusters. They're programmed to seed every cloud over the U.S. and cause massive rainstorms, but he knows Superman won't let that happen. Still, it'll keep him busy while they figure a getaway.
Curses! He'll be here any second. Let's get out of here.
The Craped Crusaders!
Sir, that is pronounced Caped Crusaders.
Trust me, Batman, you're wasting your breath.
Were you gentlemen going somewhere?
Every door they go to has a new super friend. But where are the Crims?
He's right. It's the only door we've come to that's locked.
This must be the key. Let's try it.
I think we set off an alarm. They're not here anyway. Come on, Wendy.
Marvin, we're down here. Thank goodness you've come.
We didn't know who was turning the key, so we deflated.
Too bad man locked us in.
Bad men, huh?
Come on, everyone. Follow us.
Noah Tall reminds me of Captain Tracy in the original Star Trek episode The Omega Glory. He was determined to find some special gene or chemical that allowed the people on that planet to live hundreds of years. Dr. McCoy finally had to veritably scream at him that people there live longer because it's natural for them to do so. Same thing here. They can move objects because they were born with the ability. They probably don't even know how it works, but I know what they should do with it next. If either of those guys shows up, yank his pants down and run away. If it's Twisty, you're even better off because it'll take him 10 minutes to explain why his ants are around his pankles. But neither of them cares about the Crims right now. They're trying to get away from the Super Friends.
Hurry! This elevator will take us up to the Cloudbuster chute.
Uh-oh, boss. Here comes the dynamic dio.
In here, quick!
Holy jellyfish, they are a slippery pair. Yowie! Mr. Tall, what's our plan for getting down?
I forgot to make one!
Don't worry, gravity already has one.
Perhaps I can help.
I could have gotten away with it if it weren't for you,
Meddling kids?
Superman.
Oh, right, him too.
How did you get through my cloud busters?
Simple. I am a Cloudbuster Buster.
What did he say, boss?
He said he's a bound cluster duster. Ask him!
He said he's a cluster of clouds or something like that. This whole thing was just silly. Crim talks to the head of the Environmental Protection Bureau, Mr. Simon Pure, and ends up with a job. Washington will build the family a special house. All is well. They'll draw up some environmental rules, and then doddering old goats my age will come along and sell it all down the river for a hefty pension. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how much this episode will make you laugh. Every time one of Tall's schemes failed, I laughed and cheered. Twisty was the star of the show. There's a good message here, but I get the feeling that was obligatory. We just wanted to do something filled with laughter, and we succeeded. If you haven't watched this episode, I encourage you to do so. It is loads of fun. Wank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Who knew the Who knew? Overthink something. These two were located at Gakokakama. So when 2020, someone has been live there, people there, come up with good, come. Look at the line, David.